The message lit up my phone while I sat behind my desk, pretending to care about the stack of reports in front of me. It was from my fiancée, Simone. The words hit like a sucker punch. The wedding's still on, but I need to spend the next couple nights with Terrence for closure. Terrence. Her ex. The same man she swore she was over when we first started dating 2 years back. The man who'd broken her heart but somehow still haunted her like a shadow neither of us could shake. I read the text 3 times before my brain even processed it. We were 3 days away from walking down the aisle, and she was talking about sleepovers with the man she used to love. She'd even tacked on a promise. Nothing will happen. I just want peace before I marry you. Love you forever. I stared at the screen, my chest tightening. My thumbs moved before I could stop them. Do what you need to do. Seconds later, she responded with emojis, gushing about how mature I was. She said this was why she was marrying me. I didn't smile. My jaw locked. That was the moment I decided everything was already over. Please like, subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from. I placed my phone face down on the desk and let the silence drown me. My heart didn't race, it slowed. It felt like the moment before a storm, when everything holds its breath. 5 minutes passed before I picked the phone back up. Not to answer Simone, but to start making calls. First call, the event hall where we were supposed to say our vows. The woman on the other end sounded confused when I told her to cancel. She reminded me about the deposit, about the catering, the flowers, the DJ. I cut her off. Cancel it all. Don't leave a single balloon inflated. Second call, the honeymoon trip Simone wouldn't be taking. Another deposit gone. I didn't care. Third call, my best man Marcus. I forwarded him Simone's text. He didn't say anything for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was low. She really thought you'd be okay with that? By 6 o'clock that evening, the wedding was nothing more than scattered contracts and wasted money. I packed my things out of our apartment while she was at her bachelorette party, leaving behind only what was hers. On the counter, I left her ring and a note that said simply, closure. Simone was out with her friends, celebrating in matching shirts that screamed Bride Tribe, not knowing her fairy tale had already collapsed. The beauty of it? Her maid of honor worked part-time at the very hall we'd booked. I didn't even have to lift a finger. Word of the cancellation would circle back to Simone soon enough. At 9:20 that night, Marcus pulled out his phone. He'd been monitoring social media since I'd blocked everyone. Here it comes, he muttered. Her maid of honor posted a story, the girls laughing on a rooftop bar. Then 3 minutes later, the first ripple hit. Simone had received the automated cancellation email. She'd insisted on being copied on every vendor detail. By 9:31, a new story popped up. Same maid of honor. This time, panicked. Emergency. Does anybody know where Darren is? Simone is freaking out. The text to Marcus started pouring in. Is Darren with you? She says he canceled everything. This has to be a mistake. Marcus replied for me. Ask Simone about Terrence. Silence stretched. Then finally, you're overreacting. She's crying her eyes out. Overreacting?
No.
I was finally reacting. The next wave didn't come from Simone's friends. It came from her mother. 17 missed calls blew up Marcus's phone within an hour. Somehow, she'd gotten his number. The voicemails were wild, rage mixing with desperation. This is ridiculous. The wedding is in 3 days. You tell that boy to answer his phone right now. Family is flying in from all over. He's being childish. Simone did nothing wrong. Did nothing wrong. The words twisted in my head like broken glass. I almost laughed. Then came the real comedy. Terrence himself texting Marcus around 11. Bro, tell Darren this is all a misunderstanding. Simone was just being nice to me because of my father's health. Nothing was going to happen. He's really gonna throw it all away over 2 nights. Marcus didn't hold back. My guy, you literally told the groom you'd be spending nights with his bride before the wedding. What did you expect? Terrence's reply, it's not like that. Marcus, it's exactly like that. She said he was cool with it. Does he seem cool with it now? I didn't need to answer. The silence online was already loud enough. The internet doesn't forgive, and it doesn't forget. Simone's cousin, who loved attention more than air, posted a video from the bachelorette party. My fiancé sat on the bathroom floor, tiara tilted, mascara streaked, while her friends tried to comfort her. Someone off camera whispered, "Maybe Terrence can help." Her scream cut through the phone speaker. Terrence is why this is happening. That was all the confirmation I needed. By Thursday morning, Simone had shifted tactics. At 3 a.m., she posted on Facebook, "To all guests coming to celebrate our wedding, it breaks my heart to say we must postpone. Darren is having a mental health crisis, struggling with paranoia and false accusations. I will stand by him through the storm. Please keep him in prayer." Mental health crisis. Paranoia. That was her story now. I wasn't about to let her rewrite the narrative. At noon, I made my only public post, a screenshot of her text, followed by my words. No crisis. No paranoia. My fiancé told me she was spending the 2 nights before our wedding with her ex. I canceled. That's it. Chaos exploded instantly. By Thursday afternoon, Simone showed up at Marcus's apartment, and she didn't come alone. Her mother, her father, the maid of honor, and, God help them, Terrence. They actually brought the man she wanted closure with. Marcus and I watched through his doorbell camera as the circus unfolded. Her mother's voice came sharp and shrill. "Darren, open this door. We need to talk like adults. Do you know how much money we've spent?" Her father tried a softer tone. "Son, just talk to her. Don't let anger ruin this." Then Terrence chimed in. "Bro, come on. Don't do her like this. She was just being nice." Marcus's voice boomed from the speaker. "Did y'all really bring the man she planned to sleep over with to convince him to marry her? Y'all serious?" Silence. Then Simone cracked. "It wasn't like that. I just wanted to be sure about my feelings before the wedding." Marcus laughed so hard I thought the camera would shake off the wall. Her father tried one last plea. 150 guests are flying in. The rehearsal dinner is tomorrow." Marcus answered for me. "The wedding's already dead. Y'all just don't see it yet." That night, Simone proved them all wrong about one thing. She didn't care about appearances anymore. She went to Terrence's apartment anyway, posted a story on her socials, smiling on his couch, wine glasses on the table. The caption, "Sometimes the universe shows you where you're meant to be." Closure, huh? Friday morning, the country club called me. They said Simone and her mother were demanding to hold the rehearsal dinner anyway, despite the cancellation. They'd even tried to charge it to my card. I told the manager, calm as ever. "No confusion. Cancel it. If she wants a dinner, she can book it herself under a new reservation. My name is off it." Background noise leaked through the line. Simone's voice, shrill, demanding to speak to me. "No thanks," I said. "I'm good." An hour later, her father called from a number I hadn't blocked yet. He tried to shame me. "They're calling the police on Simone and her mother at the club. Is this really what you want? You're destroying her." I asked him if he'd seen the story she posted from Terrence's apartment the night before. Silence. Then he hung up. By Friday afternoon, the family's desperation turned into humiliation. Simone and her mother attempted to host an alternative celebration at a downtown restaurant. Out of the 60 invited, only 12 showed. 12. And yes, Terrence sat proudly at her side like a prize. Her own sister left the moment she walked in and saw him. But the real show began that night. Simone, drunk on red wine and sorrow, went live on Instagram. Tears blurred her voice as she clutched her phone. "I just want everyone to know the truth. Darren is trying to make me look like a cheater, but I never cheated. Terrence and I have history. I just wanted closure before I committed my life to Darren. He said he was fine with it." The comments ripped her apart. "Girl, you're literally at Terrence's place right now." Someone zoomed in and recognized his wall art. She panicked, shifting the camera. "No, we're just talking. It's not what it looks like." Another comment. "Didn't you say Darren had a mental breakdown this morning?" Simone's mascara streaked as she cried harder. And then, the cherry on top, Terrence reached for her phone and muttered, "Babe, You're making it worse." By Saturday morning, I was long gone. I'd packed my car and driven to a mountain resort for some peace. The air was crisp, the silence thick. I felt freer than I had in years. Meanwhile, Marcus kept me updated. The wedding venue had turned into a scene from a tragic comedy. Despite everything being canceled, nearly 30 guests showed up in formal wear because Simone and her mother told them it was just postponed. Instead of a wedding, they walked into a corporate team-building retreat. Imagine confused cousins in gowns standing next to men tossing beanbags in company t-shirts. Her mother tried to force the venue to give them space. The police were called. Again. Then came the plot twist of the century. Terrence's father arrived, expecting to see his son get married. Turns out, Terrence had lied to him, too. When the man found out there was no wedding and that his son had used his name, claiming he had cancer as a sympathy ploy, he lost it right in the lobby. "You told people I was dying to sleep with a woman already engaged? I raised you better than this." Even Simone couldn't spin that. Saturday night, when the wedding should have happened, Simone made her most desperate move yet. She still had her key to our old apartment. I'd left days ago, told the landlord I was gone, but she didn't know that yet. At 9 p.m., my phone buzzed. It was a picture. Simone, in her wedding dress, standing in our old bedroom. The caption read, "This could have been our night." Then another message, "I'm here if you want to talk." I didn't text her back. Instead, I emailed her, a copy of the letter I'd sent the landlord. My name was off the lease. Rent was hers now. Her response came fast and frantic. "You can't do this. Where am I supposed to live?" I typed only 2 words. "With Terrence." That night, she sent 43 voice notes. I didn't listen to a single one, because for the first time in months, I finally felt like I could breathe. By the next week, the fallout had settled like ash after a fire. Simone and Terrence moved in together, not into some dream apartment, but into his cramped basement studio. She'd been evicted from ours, couldn't cover rent without me. Her parents? Crumbling too. Her father finally snapped after discovering the truth about Terrence. He wasn't some successful man Simone had painted him as. No, he was broke, twice divorced, and clinging to his mother's charity. Her father also found out Simone's mother had been rooting for Terrence the whole time, thinking he had money from some settlement. When pressed, her mother admitted she'd never liked me. Said I wasn't ambitious enough. Me, a software developer making 6 figures. Her father emailed me later, apologizing. "I failed as a father. I should have raised her better. You dodged a bullet. I wish I had your courage." It stung, but it also set me free. Meanwhile, Terrence's father reached out too. "Kid, I'm sorry my son is a disappointment. You seem like a good man. We're cutting him off until he learns." I read that twice, smiling at the irony. The man Simone threw everything away for couldn't even stand on his own 2 feet. The comedy kept writing itself. Simone tried to start planning a wedding with Terrence. She even called our old venue to rebook it. They declined. She called 3 more venues, and every single one turned her away. Apparently, there's such a thing as a blacklist for problem clients. And thanks to her mother's screaming matches with police at the rehearsal and venue, they were officially on it. Her cousin, the same one who loved recording everything, shared with Marcus that Simone had been crying nonstop about Terrence dragging his feet. He wouldn't propose. He kept saying, "Marriage isn't necessary. What we have is beyond paperwork." Thanksgiving, she finally lost it. Screamed at him in front of her family, "You ruined my life for nothing." His answer? Cold. "I thought you loved me for me, not for a wedding." Her sister later told Marcus that Simone stormed out of dinner, mascara streaking her cheeks, while Terrence shrugged and asked for seconds. Even I couldn't make up a punchline that sharp. As for me, life felt lighter without the constant weight of Simone's drama. Work noticed. Without wedding stress dragging me down, my focus sharpened. I got promoted within 3 months. The same people who used to ask about my wedding plans were now congratulating me on my career move. And love, funny enough, it found me again. Elise, from my rock climbing group. She was everything Simone wasn't: steady, joyful, and, most importantly, honest. When I told her the story, she nearly fell off the climbing wall laughing. "You did the right thing," she said, brushing chalk from her hands. "We weren't rushing. No proposals, no ultimatums. Just slow, steady, and real." One morning at a cafe, I ran into Simone's maid of honor, Tanya. She looked embarrassed. Apologized. Said Simone had been texting Terrence for months before the closure weekend. Even bought lingerie for it. Tanya had begged her to stop, but Simone was convinced I'd never walk away. She was wrong. I walked all the way out and I never looked back. The red flags had always been there. I just didn't want to see them. The way Simone compared me to Terrence constantly. How she texted him just as a friend, but kept her phone flipped over whenever I was near. That time she shouted during an argument, "You're lucky I chose you." I chose to ignore it all. Thought love meant forgiveness. Thought patience meant strength. But in reality, I was tolerating disrespect, swallowing poison disguised as compromise. Her infamous text, the one about closure, wasn't just betrayal. It was a gift. A sharp, painful, unwrapped truth that cut through the illusions I'd been holding onto. Without that moment, I would have walked into a marriage doomed to bleed me dry. Divorce lawyers would have thrived on our misery. Instead, with one decision, I saved myself years of pain and money. And watching the spiral from the sidelines, I realized something I hadn't before. Simone never actually loved me. She loved the idea of being chosen, adored, celebrated. Marriage wasn't about me. It was about her. Now that she had neither vows nor attention, she had nothing left. The irony deepened when Terrence's ex-wife reached out to me. A message popped up on social media one evening. "Heard what happened. Welcome to the club of survivors." We exchanged a few words, nothing more. She told me Terrence had cheated on her with 3 different women. That Simone's turn would come soon enough. I believed her. But I didn't feel the need to warn Simone. Not anymore. Her choices had placed her exactly where she was meant to be, next in line for heartbreak. As for me, I was already free. People kept asking if I'd gotten any deposits back. Truth? Some. The photographer refunded half out of kindness. The baker gave back nearly everything. The hall and catering? They kept their cut. But I didn't care. Losing money hurt less than losing myself. Every penny spent was the price of liberation. And honestly, it was worth it. Simone still tried to rewrite the story online, painting herself as the victim. Photos of her and Terrence popped up constantly. Filtered smiles, captions about soulmates, hashtags about destiny. But people weren't fooled. Screenshots circulated, old videos resurfaced. Simone couldn't escape her own receipts. Worse for her, Terrence hadn't changed. Folks spotted him on dating apps. Simone's cousin sent Marcus screenshots of his profile, smiling selfies, bio bragging about being loyal and real. Loyal. The irony burned brighter than any neon sign. Apparently, when Simone confronted him, he brushed it off. Told her he was just looking at options. She didn't leave him, though. She clung tighter, trying to prove to the world she hadn't destroyed her life for nothing. But anyone watching could see the cracks. Behind every staged post, there was a woman terrified of admitting she'd gambled and lost. And the man she lost everything for? He was already 1 foot out the door. Meanwhile, I thrived. Promotions stacked. My climbing adventures with Elise became weekends I actually looked forward to. We traveled, laughed, shared silence that wasn't heavy but healing. I'd stopped living in reaction to someone else's chaos. Stopped being the anchor to a sinking ship. Funny thing is, every so often I still ran into people tied to Simone. A cousin at the grocery store. A coworker of hers at a networking event. They all whispered the same thing. She regrets it. She says you were the one that got away. But I wasn't flattered. I didn't care. I wasn't the one who got away. I was the one who walked away. There's a difference. Her regret wasn't about me anyway. It was about losing what I provided: stability, security, a future she could hold up like a trophy. Terrence could never give her that. And maybe, deep down, she finally realized it. But by then, I was gone. Now, looking back, I see the closure Simone searched for wasn't about Terrence. It was about herself. She wanted to prove she still held power over the man who once broke her. She wanted reassurance that she hadn't wasted years on someone who moved on without her. But closure isn't found in old beds or recycled love. Closure is found in truth. And the truth was this. She betrayed, I walked, and life carried on. Her story unraveled into a tragedy of her own making. Mine unfolded into freedom, growth, and the chance at a love that doesn't demand I shrink to fit someone else's insecurity. I no longer check her pages. I no longer wonder what could have been. When I think of Simone, it's not anger that rises. It's gratitude. Because sometimes betrayal isn't the end. Sometimes it's the beginning. The door swinging wide open to a life you didn't know you deserved. And that's where I stand now. No regrets. No looking back. Just forward. Always forward. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment and subscribe for more stories like this.